Disney Dreamlight Valley's newest DLC, Storybook Vale, has arrived and it's every bit as magical as we hoped. And with so many new things to collect, craft, solve, and grind, staying organized can feel a bit overwhelming, especially for someone like me. That's why today I'm sharing my ultimate Storybook Vale checklist to help you stay on top of your daily tasks and to make the most of your time in this enchanting new world. Plus, if you want your own copy of the checklist, you can find it on my community tab to download and use to follow along with me in this video. I also will have it linked in the description box below. So without further ado, let's jump into the first thing on our checklist. Alright, so the very first thing on this list is grinding storybook magic, and although I know this one may seem obvious, we need storybook magic for literally so much in this DLC, and unfortunately it is one of my very few gripes that I have with this DLC because don't get me wrong, it's amazing, but for whatever reason, grinding storybook magic or story magic feels like it takes a little bit longer than it has in other DLCs and in the main valley, and you're gonna need a lot of it in order to unlock the different biomes, and also you'll need it in crafting recipes. So if you're not grinding storybook magic every day, then it's going to take you a little bit longer to move through the content, which of course is fine, and that may have been the point in general for it, but I just want to make sure that that is on your list. Go into your duties and make sure you're checking off some of these every single day if you can. Now here's a quick tip / hack that everyone should know about. If you haven't gone into your collections menu and seen these duties yet, you need to find the buy seeds duty for Storybook Vale. There are 3 different ones, one for buying seeds in the Ever After, another in the Bind, and another in Mythopia. By grinding this one out, you can get thousands of storybook magic, which is excellent. So I highly recommend doing those duties first. You'll need lots of star coins though, because like the duty says, you need to buy a lot of seeds. Also, big shout out to MJ who shared this little tip with me and it was really helpful. Next on our list is gathering resources, which is important for 2 reasons. One, not only so that you can continue to stock up on these resources that you'll need for crafting and quests, but also because the more resources that you find in each of the 3 biomes, you will see that it starts to unlock different recipes when you find them. So if you haven't found a resource, make sure you're looking for that. You can find all of the resources in Storybook Vale in your collections menu, and after finding that resource, you should see that it unlocks a new crafting recipe. So it's just another reason why it's on my daily checklist. And side note, when you're gathering resources, especially when you're digging, I would definitely recommend using potions. My favorite potions to use are digging and mining potions. For example, I'll show you digging right now, but if you dig with a potion and your digging buddy, it's going to make gathering resources super quick. Look how many resources I'm getting back just by digging. Not only is it very satisfying, but it really does help to reduce the amount of time it takes to gather a bunch of resources at once. Now, next on our list, for obvious reasons, is feeding our critter. Now, you want to feed the critters around your Storybook Vale in order for them to become companions, and this takes a couple of days normally to do. So what you need to do is go into your collections menu, see which critters are available for the day, go find them and feed them their favorite meals. Now, if you want to know the favorite foods for each of the companions, for owls, you can feed them the grains that are available in the valley, but their favorite is barley, and that's what I've been using. If you want to feed the baby dragons, you can use magma or the pure ice shards that you find around in the Ever After biome. And lastly, if you're looking for the Pegasus, they will eat vegetable meals. Their favorite is any 4-star vegetable meal. I've been using ranch salads and those work fine. For the owls and the baby dragons, it takes 2 days in order to get them befriended to become a companion. However, for the Pegasus, I believe it takes 3 days. So just keep that in mind when you're feeding each one of the companions. Now, these next set of tasks revolve around one of the most important new features that came along with the DLC, which is your royal net. You need to be making sure you're catching lots of snippets. Not only does this go hand in hand with completing a lot of these storybook magic duties, but you'll also need these snippets for crafting different recipes and also for reordering stories. Now, you will notice that you have multiple different duties for catching snippets, and there are multiple different types of snippets that you can catch. I would highly recommend you catching them all, so I would just go through every biome that you have and catch up all the available snippets that are around. You obviously don't have to do this for hours, but I would recommend doing this for some time so that you can start collecting them up, because again, you use them for lots of different things in the Storybook Vale. And now as a side little note or task for you to do is make sure you're going back to your main valley. I didn't know this at first, but we have white snippets that actually fly around in our regular Dreamlight Valley. And these white snippets are actually a crafting resource. In order for you to craft these snippets that you could catch, instead you could just craft them pretty quickly using the white snippets as a base crafting resource. So I highly recommend going through and collecting or doing a small grind on the snippets in Storybook Vale, but also the snippets in your regular valley. Now moving on to our next task is collecting enough storybook magic to allow for you to craft some of these slow traps. You actually have 3 different types of traps that you can craft. All 3 of these traps will be helpful in some way depending on your goals with the snippets. So I recommend just trying to do whatever you need to do daily in order to craft these traps and placing them down in different biomes. These traps are going to make your life a lot easier unless you just enjoy running around catching the snippets yourself. And in that case, that's totally fine. You could skip this one. Now, one thing to be mindful of the traps is once you place them down, they can be upgraded as well, which again, you guessed it, requires storybook magic, and upgrading them makes them more efficient. So that's something to keep in mind too. But I think the basic traps are very helpful just as they are. So having at least the basic traps down in the biomes can be very useful. Now, moving right along, let's talk about reordering stories. Not only is this extremely fun to do, in my opinion, I would recommend at least doing 1 a day, if not more. If you haven't noticed, when you reorder a story, it also comes along with a cool resource or reward, but you do need snippets in order to unlock these stories that you need to reorder. So I would just recommend, in addition to collecting your snippets, maybe collect the amount of snippets that you need to reorder a story as well, because that'll be really helpful for you to gather resources, and it's just something fun to do every day. Now, this may be the most important on the list in my opinion, but if you haven't already, it is time to start working on a storage solution. Done are the days that you guys are dropping things out of your inventory and just on the ground. We need to come up with something better, and I have just the thing for you. I personally love making a storage house. I have one in Eternity Isle and now another on Storybook Vale. I have a video on exactly how to do that linked in the description box below and also on the screen, so feel free to check that out. But if you're not interested in a storage house, you can of course create some type of storage solution outside or even in your main house. I just recommend this because not only is it a great way to keep your inventory space clean, but as you're running around doing a checklist like this, you're going to get stocked up on lots of different resources, and the easiest thing to do is to just go put it in a chest for you to use for later. And I put this on our checklist because storage solutions are not easy to make, I would say. So if you chip away at it daily, just doing it a little bit over time, you'll have a full storage solution that works for you. And I think it can be very, very helpful. So make sure you get started on that as soon as possible. Now, with Storybook Vale comes also a ton of new farming resources. So I like to create and also check on my farms daily. I would recommend making a new little farm area in every biome. You of course could do this however you want. You can maybe make a big farm in one biome. I like to go through and make little plots to plant each of the new seeds that we get per biome. And this is going to, one, help you collect up on resources for cooking and again for crafting. And then you can add these resources into your storage chest to use whenever you need them. You really never know when you're going to need certain resources, whether it be for quests or crafting, you don't know. In addition to that, these crops come with their own new price points, so selling some of these resources can make you star coins, which is very important as well. It's time to start grinding for friendship levels. It's very important that you chat with them and gift them their favorites every day. You can keep track of this pretty easily by going to your collections menu, but with multiple new villagers, going through each day and making sure you've chatted with them, given them their favorites, or even doing a little bit of a grind to level them up quickly is going to be really, really helpful because they have wonderful friendship gifts, and it also unlocks more quests as you go on. Now, if you're looking for something that levels up villagers really quickly, my favorite things to use are shiny gifts or purified night shards. Now, if you don't have those resources to give, then you could always spam gift them flowers or gems. That works as well. It's just a little bit more of a grind. I don't know about you, but I need to get to those level 10 friendship gifts as soon as possible. Another thing that I like to do is run around and grab a couple of resources from Goofy's stalls. This will help you to eventually get stocked up on a lot of those food resources that you can't grow or craft. You'll just need them for cooking, and again, it does require star coins, so doing this little by little daily, I think, is definitely more digestible than trying to buy a whole bunch right off the bat. But if you can do that, great. But I like to just be stocked up on these resources because when they're needed in a quest or if I need to cook something with them, I will always have them on hand. Now, next on this list is to check and shop all of Scrooge's stores. And I mean all, because with this DLC came the new feature that every single one of Scrooge's stores has a different stock for the day. So if you have Eternity Isle DLC, the Storybook Vale DLC, and then of course your main valley, you have 3 different stores total to shop with different merchandise within. So make sure you're checking these daily to get all of your furniture pieces and everything that you need in your valley. And of course, to finish off this wonderful list, it is time to clean out our inventory. And if you have your storage room already, it is going to be easy for you to just run and drop all these things off, whether you're going to continue grinding or if you're going to log off for the day. This is a great last step when you're running through your checklist to keep your inventory clean and prepare you or set you up for your next gameplay session. And that brings us to the end of the checklist. I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this video, and I really do hope it helps you guys stay organized and collect things a little bit quicker in your valley. If you've enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I'm live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Fridays each week, so I'd love to see you on a live stream. And if you're interested in some more Disney Dreamlight Valley content or other videos, I have them linked on the screen right here for you to check out. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, friends, I will catch you all in the next one. Peace!